Yeah, thank you so much for talking a little bit about those really like high-level goals that council's working towards, and I think it's really important to keep with that big picture of this is a really great and exciting opportunity to have a community battery in Flinders. It's something that not many places around Australia have been able to do yet, and it's a way of taking part in our energy transition. But obviously the way that we do this is really important. With the community engagement process so far, the aim is to secure the social licence for the 10-year operation and life of this battery. And we're working to engage deeply and respond to the interests and concerns of community members. Your feedback's already shaped our engagement process, as we've just mentioned, so seeking that first milestone extension. So initially we were working towards a compressed timeline. We didn't think that we had as much time as we did, and that meant some things didn't happen in the order that we would have liked them to. Now that we've had this extension, it means that we're going to be able to go out to more of you over a longer period of time to receive your feedback, your interests, your ideas. And we're working towards a revised milestone date in January for site selection. So that's why over the Christmas period, it's going to be really important for people to get involved and have your say. So here's the key stages of our engagement process. So first off, we're doing this right now, we're kind of finishing this today, the engagement kickoff. We'll then be looking at a site selection process. We'll then be looking at things like site preparation, vegetation and screening, sort of thinking about those more site-specific elements. We'll then talk about artwork and visuals on the battery. And then we'll do a bit of a sort of benefits assessment. Is there the possibility of a community fund? That's something that we're working towards. And then it'll wrap up. So the key elements of our engagement process are really going to be, so it started off with those initial letters to residents, trying to reach as wide a net of you as possible. We've also been doing some email communications about events like this through FZCC and various other stakeholders who are interested in the project. One of the key components though really is going to be the community reference group. So there's a number of people from the community or who have are members of key groups that are going to be part of this tight-knit little working group that's going to be provided with lots of information to be informed about key decision items. So they'll be able to actually really shape and inform certain elements of this battery. And the reason why we do it with the community reference group and not everyone is because, as you can imagine, that would be difficult to do. We'll also have feedback processes predominantly by email, which I'm going to be sharing with you at the end of this meeting. Social media and the FZCC website, which we've already mentioned, has lots of great resources like the frequently asked questions that we'll be updating throughout this project. So what have we done in this kickoff stage? Well, we've launched a community survey, which I really encourage everyone to fill in. We've done an expression of interest for the community reference group. We've done this letter and email to let people know, and then we did a more specific notice to local residents to let them know about those two proposed sites initially. We've now formed the CRG. We've held our first community reference group meeting, which has been really, super interesting. And now we're doing this wonderful session, so thank you all for coming. So this is the next process that we're working through now, so site selection. And we're going to be starting that off with a meeting where we're going to be looking at these different network areas and their sort of different benefits and kind of drilling a little bit more into the complexity with that community reference group of what might influence a decision around where a community battery could go. We'll then be looking at the specific sites, and then that site information is going to be provided to all community members through the community feedback period that has just been mentioned as likely just a drop-in kind of opportunity at the local town hall, I believe. Is it the, yeah. So we'll be trying to provide a simple way for you to sort of have your say during that period. We'll then be meeting back with the community reference group to have a decision on the site, and then we'll be notifying the community about what that decision was. So future steps on a higher level, as I mentioned before, we'll sort of be looking to drill into those areas of site preparation, thinking about vegetation plantings or screenings around the battery, things that might reduce that visual impact. We'll also be looking at the artwork and visuals around April. So I know that the artwork at YEF was controversial to some in Flinders. but it's awesome because the CRG will be having a say on that as well. And there'll also be opportunities for community feedback in that process. And then if we can, we'll be looking at a community fund and thinking about the distribution framework. So, you know, specifics about how that's going to be going to benefit the community and who and how. And then we'll be wrapping up the engagement and there'll be, at some stage, a launch of the battery. So, yeah, if you want to learn more, I guess hopefully we'll have some really great questions from you all now. I'm sure you're all feeling a bit pooped and there's been lots of things to digest, but yeah, we're looking forward to receiving those in a moment. We also really want you to fill in the community survey that I'll share a link with in here, but also we can provide it to you after this meeting. Yeah, also jumping onto the Flinders Zero Carbon website, which has those great frequently asked questions. It's very in-depth, there's lots of resources there. And then also engaging with the Christmas feedback period. Another thing you can do to get regular updates is sign up to the Flinders Zero Carbon community newsletter.